Chris Anderson live again. It's early in the morning and I just finished early morning yoga. Apparently they have a special brand of yoga just for that. Which brought me to think, what is the earliest in the morning I've ever been in a fight? And the answer is, I'm not sure. You see, I am naturally a late night person. Now, in the military, you don't get a choice. And I was actually ridiculously good at doing PT at the crack of dawn. Problem is, I didn't remember anything that happened. I was half asleep. When I was at Virginia Tech, we had like a Ranger School prep team, but like for ours, it was more like organizational affiliation too. And so you had to go through this thing called the TAP. It was a month long. It was pretty brutal. Oh, our TAP was actually designed by reading the forms of people who left Ranger School. Like they just did a tally of every reason that someone stated on the form of why they either quit or could not complete the course. And then after tallying those forms, we did only extra of the stuff that most people quit for. So that's why our prep team is so successful, even though it's only a month long, is we just figured out the exact points that put people down and did that and only that. But after you finish the TAP, there's like organizational affiliation for Barrette wrestling. And that's a lot of fun, because TAP was all February, and it was brutal. And for me, whenever I'm on an army thing, I get weaker with each passing day, because my muscles need more time to regenerate than dog or horse muscles. Where is it going with this? Oh, yeah, so, but after the TAP, my muscles were regenerating. So the Barrette wrestling happened a month after the TAP. So I was the strongest guy during that event, because I'm the only soldier who gets stronger by going on vacation. And it's because my muscles take way, way, way longer to regenerate than normal humans. Anyways, but that day I was on point and I had my chemical energy charged up. And so it was me and a few other people. They just sneak up on you at like 4 a.m. It's like, so when's Barrette wrestling? You know it's coming, but you have no clue. So I spent a month always being like, oh, is it going to be tomorrow morning? Is it going to be tomorrow morning? And then it finally came. So they woke me up at the crack of dawn. Like everything else, I don't really remember that much, except lots of PT, running through some duck pond. Logs. They made me carry these individual logs and like go up like 3 or 4 stories of stairs and back down. And so whatever it was 3 hours. It was supposed to be our hardest workout. I was doing the best that day because I had rested up. And then we got back to Upper Quad to have our Barrette wrestling, which is a big public setting, like where they're normally all standing in a circle, like doing their morning stuff. We did our stuff there. And they gave me the hardest Barrette wrestling opponent, a dude named Divine. So there are like 3 PT gloves, and my goal when I showed up there was to do all of them. Well, while I was doing the Barrette for the very first one as a freshman, there was a senior who already did all 3 of them, and he'd been a wrestler in high school. So they picked him to be my opponent, and dude was jacked too. Like, he was into lifting weights. But, yeah, I got mad skills. So basically, even though I was exhausted, we went for a while, and I figured out how to choke him out. And so his face is like starting to turn blue, and my plan was just to choke him out and then take the Barrette. Like everyone else, they just grabbed onto the Barrette and pulled as hard as they could. In mine, they were like, grab the Barrette, Chris. And I was like, no, there's no point. I'm going to beat the guy up first, and then I'm going to grab the Barrette after I'm done kicking his ass. That just sounded smarter to me personally. But yeah, I was choking him out, and I got Geneva Convention. People there have a lot of things to say about me, but it seems that I keep getting Geneva Convention during hand-to-hand combat. So yeah, I was disappointed because I knew for how that I was smaller than him, I was exhausted. If I didn't choke him out then, there was a risk that I wouldn't be able to win. So I was like, no, I've got to choke this guy out. He's like, no, we're sorry, that's against the rules, you won't pass it. I was like, all right, fine. So I let go, but he was already tired from being choked. And so what I basically did is I just jumped up from where I was and grabbed both hands around the Barrette and then just started turning circles, like wall laying on the ground, just doing circles like that. And yeah, I pried it apart that way. But as far as the entire history of Ranger Company Barrette Wrestling, I'm the only one of two that actually beat the guy while he was wrestling for the Barrette. Now, as far as what happened to my Barrette afterwards, I think a little girl named Jershana is sporting it around Vegas. And I'm okay with that. Like, some soldiers, they get really wrapped up on, like, their object picture thingies. But for me, the whole point of Barrette wrestling was to kick ass. So the actual object, the Barrette itself, is meaningless to me. But kicking ass that morning, well, that meant a lot. And that's my fight for the day. Good night.